Welcome to Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Everybody knows that song, but the story is a lot more complicated. West Virginia is a blue-collar state. The coal miner, the chicken farmer, the factory worker. A West Virginian is used to long, hard days. The state is full of underdogs and is routinely a butt of jokes. In a state with no professional sports team, there's one program that represents those men and women. The West Virginia Mountaineers. The team, much like the Citizens, are used to being underestimated, but the program has had its share of success. WVU is the winningest Division I program without a national championship. The original Mountaineer Field stood in the middle of the downtown campus in the notorious Sunnyside. Sunnyside is known for wild parties and, after big victories, the occasional couch burning. In 1980, Coach Nealon and the Flying WV arrived, ushering in a new stadium with the help of John Denver. Playing for the national title in '88, an injury to Heisman hopeful Major Harris doomed West Virginia. Another 11-0 season followed in '93, only for them to be left out of the championship game. Rich Rod brought his hard edge to the town in 2001 and spotted the ball. Pat White and Steve Slayton ran wild on football fields, Xboxes, and into the national spotlight. Owen Schmidt was a real-life superhero, the runaway beer truck. He could hang clean 500 pounds and bashed in the heads of his opponents, and occasionally his own. Coach Stu left no doubt that they should have never played the old gold and blue. Tavon Austin and Noel Devine still compete for the title of the best highlight film. Mountaineer fans never wrote off Geno Smith as he rewrote the record books. Tough years followed, but in '23 the team was able to climb out of the well and back into the top 25, sparked by the country's leading rushing attack. With a goateed Neil Brown and a gunslinging Garrett Green, couches are getting nervous again in Morgantown. However, a familiar foe lurks in the shadows, rekindling images of white-clad ghosts that haunt our past. Penn State, Nittany Lions. And once again, West Virginia is being counted out, but we wouldn't have it any other way. It's here, WVU, Penn State. It's a bad day to be a beer in Morgantown, and it's an even worse day to be a Nittany Lion. Now on the site of the old Mountaineer Field, West Virginia University's all-time leading scorer, Plum, Pennsylvania native, and one of the biggest voices in sports entertainment today, Mr. Pat McAfee.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice to change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Morgantown, West Virginia. It's Feel Good Friday, and this program starts now. Football! Uh-oh.
Got debris coming in already.
Uh-oh. Here in Morgantown, West Virginia, the biggest home opener since 1998 is happening on this campus tomorrow. Schools across the county are shut down. These students have been boozing since last night, and the Penn State Nittany Lions have a buzzsaw on their hands tomorrow. Let's go! Let's go! This place is electrifying. Now, we are sitting on a grassy knoll outside of the incredible Life Sciences building where we've been housing biscuits and donuts and bears and water all morning. As some of these fans have been sitting out here since 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And this is a football town, and today we're going to celebrate all of it. It's not just me, obviously. The Toxic Table is here. At Boston Connor.
Yeah. It's still got the heat, baby. You gotta love it.
And at Ty Schmidt.
Yeah!
Now, Ty, you obviously represent the Iowa Hawkeyes in the Big Ten.
All right. Uncalled for.
I like that.
Okay. Uncalled.
Ty, the Big Ten, whenever we were looking for a new home after we left the Big East, the Big Ten said these students were too stupid to go into the Big Ten.
Oh! Right.
They said...
Oh!
They said that our school wasn't enough of a football town to go into the Big Ten. What do you see here today and this morning? And to be completely transparent, you've been looking forward to this trip and you love this town. What have you seen this morning and what do you expect from this entire weekend here?
I mean, this is incredible. Bodies as far as the eye can see. I mean, we figured it was going to be massive. This is unbelievable. And listen, yeah, I mean, the Big Ten did say We only want public ivies. West Virginia's not exactly a public ivy. I may be a Iowa grad, I may be a Big Ten guy, but make no mistake, I hate Penn State, and they are in for one rude awakening tomorrow, baby! Hell yeah! This is incredible. This is incredible.
Yeah, this is my camera here because
Look great. The juice.
yeah. And to our friends at Penn State that we haven't played in a while but are about to walk into this town, it could have been anybody this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
With this team that we have entering the 2024 season. Neil Brown has a goatee on his face.
Yeah.
Garrett Green's about to run wild all over the Big 12.
Brother.
C.J. Donaldson Jr., a running back that was top in the country 2 years ago, dealt with injuries last year, 100% healthy, about to stomp all over the field.
Yeah. Come on.
It's a great weekend. Let's go to one half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, Tone Diggs, Tone. Penn State's favored by 8.5
Yep.
here in Morgantown. They're on the road in this city.
Yep.
Don't sports books normally give a little bit more credit? How do you feel about the line? How do you feel about the game?
Yeah, I mean, if this wasn't in Morgantown, it would have been a lot bigger spread. I mean, because Morgantown, West Virginia, is the heart of football. Okay, so if I didn't play football in college, I was enrolled to go West Virginia, not Penn State, because Penn State fans are the absolute worst, and I would never go there. Okay? And I wouldn't go to Pitt either, because that's not even a real football team. Okay? I was going to Morgantown. I was going to Morgantown, West Virginia, and I did. I spent a lot of weekends down here. I had a lot of firsts down here. The first time I got thrown out of a bar was Club Z, rest in peace, because I threw up all over the floor down there. That was awesome. The first time I dabbled,
Way to go.
a lot of things with Morgantown, West Virginia. Mountaineers should not be dogs by 8 points. They should be favored by 8 points.
Flip it. Well done, Tony.
Yeah, and maybe by the end of today's show, that spread will flip the other way in West Virginia's favor, because this is pseudo becoming like a homecoming weekend been associated with West Virginia. We'll have Deuce McBride of the New York Knicks in the next hour. We'll have Garrett Green, the starting quarterback for West. They're not booing. They're deucing. And that's not for taking a dump. No, that's for making big-time shots for the New York Knicks and representing the West Virginia University Mountaineers in the NBA. We'll have Garrett Green. We'll have Neil Brown. We'll have Ren Baker.
What?
But starting off the show, the entirety of this program are two friends of mine, two men that helped build this entire place. Football operation. First, he ladies and gentlemen, he was nicknamed the Runaway Beer Truck, and there has never been a more accurate description of a man. Former fullback for the West Virginia Mountaineers, Owen Schmidt! Good to see you, brother. And hell yeah. Owen Schmidt came into Morgantown last night and hit up all the old spots that we used to hit up whenever we were 18, 19, 20 years old. His liver's in pain, but he is excited to be here, sitting alongside a man who literally changed the landscape of Morgantown, West Virginia. There was a time on this university that was before when he got here, and then there was a much different time after he got here. He's been voted the greatest Mountaineer of all time by numerous places. I got a chance to watch him work. He's a leader. He's a dog. He changed West Virginia football forever for good. Four-time bowl champion. Ladies and gentlemen, retire 5, Pat White. I appreciate you, man. Yep.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Boys, I don't know if this is the first time you've been back in Morgantown or how recently you've been back. Pat, I know spring game. Owen, you're coaching high school down in Greenbrier West, and those boys aren't wearing Guardian caps ever.
No way.
Ever wearing Guardian caps. But Pat, let's just talk about you. Whenever we were on this campus, we had a chance to experience a lot of vibes like this. Not only because of our team, but the basketball team was making the Elite Eight, the Final Four. This is a sports town. This is a football town. When you walked out here this morning, how did it feel? Did it feel like the good old days? Because it did for me, legitimately.
It felt like Morgantown. It felt real. The Mountaineers are back, Pat.
Okay, I like that, Pat White. Owen Schmidt, you're coaching high school in southern West Virginia. You have a podcast, In the Gun. Obviously, you are electrifying. But whenever you look out and see this, what is the sense of feeling you have as a person that walked on at West Virginia? You were bouncing at some bar down on High Street so you could pay for your schooling to be a Mountaineer. Then you obviously win over the entire locker room, the entire world. You have obviously a heavy place in your heart for this town. What's the sense that you feel whenever you see all these people and feel this weekend that's about to happen? All right, there we
They're
rebooting it.
Yeah.
Commercial. Hey, let's go to a commercial break if we can. Boot. As we reboot here, in the middle of the light. Now is a man who will be compared to forever whenever they're talking about GOAT conversations in the sport of football. That's because he won 7 Super Bowls, was consistently dominant for more than 2 decades at football. Ridiculously handsome, so absurdly handsome. An underdog story too, picked at 199 of the NFL draft. Not a top 5 pick, not handed anything, and then what did he do? He went to work, did his job, became the greatest of all time, and now a phenomenal businessman and a great representation of the greatest league on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady. Hell yeah,
What's
dude.
up, my man?
Tom, I thought this was all potential gimmick rip. I didn't know if you were actually on the show. I'm so pumped you were here. Hey, we love you, dude. We love you, Tom.
I appreciate it.
When you're 40 years old and you've won 6 Super Bowls and you're already being called the GOAT, was there anything to you getting to the point of just being, I'm tired of Bill Belichick talking to me like I'm a 23-year-old? Because that was kind of the lingering at the end of your time at New England.
There was so much people just trying to create some division that most of it was untrue, but it's just the way the world works. And naturally, I think division from within is a big problem in these team environments, and I don't like seeing any dysfunction in team environments. Obviously, my respect for Coach Belichick is pretty well documented. He was an incredible leader and coach for our team, and I tried to do my best every single day that I took the field. I knew that he did the same thing, and I think that's why I respected his coaching so much.
But whenever they talk about the Patriot way, that is normally the reason that is given, is like the Patriot way, the Patriot way, the Patriot way.
I've never used that term in my entire life. I think when people say it, I'm always like, what's the Patriot way? It sounds like the title of a book. I think what we tried to do was we tried to do things the right way. I think we tried to practice the right way and prepare the right way. What happened on game day was ultimately a reflection of what we practiced, and I thought we had great leadership from our coaches, and it filtered down to the guys who really drove the culture. We had so many guys that I played with over the course of a lot of years that really understood that, okay, I'm going to care about my teammates, and I'm going to care about helping the team win.
There's a guy on our show who is diehard Patriot fan. Boston Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Tommy, I have to.
What's up, Boston?
I have to start and just say thank you. You know, my whole life has been incredible because of the fact that you have.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Morgantown, West Virginia. On this Feel Good Friday, August 30th, 2024, this program restarts right now. Football! I do believe we had a power supply issue with the truck. Could or could not be a potential booze bag running around, or could be a potential power surge because of the electricity by these Mountaineer fans. At the Life Science Building, as we try to re-kick off a massive weekend for the history of Morgantown, West Virginia. We are joined by two legends, Owen Schmidt and Pat White. Tone Diggs is here. The Toxic Table is here. And Owen, before we got cut off, we were starting to have a conversation about the sense of feeling that you have whenever you look around at the Life Sciences Building in between Brooks Hall, underneath everything happening here in West Virginia. How do you feel about the state of West Virginia football?
This is what tenacity feels like, baby.
Boom!
This is it right here.
How do you feel about the state of the West Virginia Mountaineers right now?
Believe. Believe.
Like Ted Lasso, you got to smack the board up there. Whenever you think about the Big 12 as a whole, this is a year where, with the 12-team college football playoff, the West Virginia Mountaineers can make it in there. And to both of you, which I've already done 1,000 times, we win the Big 12, we're in. We got a home field playoff game. But even if you slip up this year, you have a chance to make it into the college football playoff. A win over Penn State week 1 is a massive ordeal for like indicator votes down the line. How do you feel like the Big 12 is going to shape up, and what are your thoughts about how this West Virginia team is going to do in the conference?
We got a great shot. I mean, we've made some good key player adjustments here in the offseason. I know those guys, Mike Joseph and the gang, has got those strength and conditioning stuff, you know, on par 100%. And as far as what we got, you know, we got threats. We got running backs, we got quarterbacks, we got wide receivers, and we got Cole Taylor.
Love that. Tight end, obviously an absolute beast. Pat White, when you see Garrett Green run wild on the field, does it make you have those visions of those Thursday nights whenever you were running all over stupid-ass Louisville or Maryland or any of these other schools that you used to run up and down the field? What are your thoughts on Garrett Green, the quarterback?
I think with that number 6, he might one up me. You know?
Whoa. No.
He's that guy. But when I look at West Virginia now and the new Big 12, it's sort of reminiscent of the old Big East, right? When we came in, all the quote-unquote top dogs had left, and we weren't supposed to be the top dog, but we became the top dog. Now we are the top dog. And we should run with this thing.
I like what you said there, because the Big East had transformation there. Miami had left, Virginia Tech had left, I believe Maryland had left. There was a team, they all went down to the ACC. We remained in the Big East. And it was very similar to what happened with the Big 12, with Texas and Oklahoma leaving, and people thought the Big East was going to die. That Pitt team had a good run whenever we were there. That Louisville team had a good run when we were there. That Rutgers team had a good run whenever we were there. That Connecticut team had a good run whenever we were there. But there was no team that ran like the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
There was a 3-headed monster in the backfield. It was Owen Schmidt,
What?
Steve Slayton, and Pat White. Right now, C.J. Donaldson is a name that people know. If he can get back to being fully healthy, Garrett Green is going to run wild and into the hearts of many across America tomorrow at noon. It does feel reminiscent of the glory days, and I think this crowd is ready for it. I think Morgantown is ready for another big-time run in the football world. Feels like it, doesn't it, Pat? It does.
I think it's going to happen.
I think we should bring back the whole couch burning thing.
Yep.
That is.
You better be burning them couches Saturday, baby.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Light them up!
No, we don't need that.
What do you mean bring it back? What happened?
So they banned it.
Why?
What? Who?
Well, to be clear, I think it's always been banned, which, I don't think you're allowed to just burn shit in the middle of the street.
In Morgantown, you are.
But
Yeah, see a lot of burning right over there, too. A lot of smoking over there.
Hey, yeah, we got some kids smoking CBD behind us here. We had a guy get arrested earlier in an Owen Schmidt jersey.
Hell yeah. Right.
There's been, obviously, the good times. But, Owen, thinking back to those celebrations, okay? And we talk about the couch burning. We talk about Sunnyside, what it used to be. We talk about High Street. We talk about Frat Row. If West Virginia beats Penn State tomorrow as 8.5-point dogs at noon, that game ends at 3:30. That's a lot of time on a Saturday night.
Woo.
What do you...
Uh-oh.
Have you thought about that at all? Because I have. I thought this was a night game in Morgantown for a while. Then I found out it's a noon game, and I was like, hold the phone. All of a sudden, you got another 12 hours after this game ends for West Virginia to celebrate. I think they're going to do as such. Oh, and I believe they're going to do as such.
Here's what I'm going to say. When we win,
Yep.
all right, when we win, all right, the couches will burn.
Connor, you got booed earlier. You have a West
Naturally.
Virginia shirt on. Obviously, our soccer team is undefeated and has a game tonight, and they're very, very, very good. What are your thoughts on West Virginia football, and how about college football last night getting started in a massive way?
Yeah, college football last night was incredible, but again, you're watching Colorado, and they're not going to be the beast of the Big 12. That's West Virginia, baby. Come on. Guys, it's so fun. The juice in this place is just incredible. It really does feel like West Virginia is back. What Pat and Owen have just said, I echo those same sentiments, and it is wide open. Utah played South Bum, whatever you're going to say there, but they aren't, the beasts of the Big 12. The beasts of the Big 12, I mean, they're Mountaineers, baby. This is what... This is why we're here. We didn't come to West Virginia because you guys went here. We came to West Virginia because there's a chance they do run the table. There's a chance Garrett Green goes on and wins the Heisman. There's a chance, Neil Brown with that goatee turns into Bear Bryant. Okay, I mean, this isn't just some podunk town anymore. Okay, this is a football town that's gonna win tonight in soccer, and then tomorrow at noon they're gonna beat the shit out of Penn State. I mean, it's not even gonna be close. Look, I know Drew Aller's 6'8", okay? He's a big son of a bitch. But you know what they do in West Virginia? They chop trees, baby. They go down. They cut them down at the knees.
Yeah, they do.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. Lumberjacks, baby. I mean, I'm pumped. I'm truly pumped for tomorrow. It's just nice to have football back in the air, and I'm glad that West Virginia, Morgantown, is once again the center of the college football landscape, baby.
Now, to be clear, what you just said, obviously, to these fine people was magic, and some of that good stuff.
True. Yeah, I didn't say that.
I don't know.
I didn't say that.
He's getting mushy. He is getting a little mushy. He's getting a little emotional.
Yeah.
Drew's getting mushy.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's getting very mushy. Yeah, the guy's getting real mushy. He's crying. His onions being cut. I think that's why he's getting all mushy.
Watched a sad movie
But
last night.
what happened earlier was our generators overheated over there because it is hot as shit here in Morgantown. And these people have been standing out here for hours. And that's the shot that you don't get to see. Straight out the back is obviously big. Look up this hill.
Pandemonium.
Nuts. It's madness out there, boys. Madness.
Oh, shit. This is what it's all about, baby.
They're just getting absolutely burnt out there. And the game doesn't start for another 24 hours. And we're going to need you in the second half, and these people will show up. That's what West Virginia does. Now, speaking of showing up, last night college football did in a big way. There was a thriller in Colorado between North Dakota State Hey, the Colorado Buffaloes. North Dakota State, obviously one of the top teams in D1 AA.
That's right.
Not D2.
Hey,
Not
get it
D2.
right. Get it right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Not
I'm sorry.
D2.
FCS, son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
and they're a very disciplined squad. And we knew that people that were potentially casuals to college football did not know about North Dakota State's greatness. But there is no way in hell that Coach Prime wanted his team to play on a Thursday night against a Dakota team on national television. And if I was Prime, I'd say, yes, I definitely wanted that. But some easier team would have been much nicer. Last night's game was phenomenal. I think what we took away from it was that North Dakota State is certainly a wagon, but Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are going to be a problem for everybody. Now, the conversation goes beyond that because they also have Jimmy Horn Jr.,
That's right.
who was running wild. Both those guys had 7 receptions, over 100 yards. Shedeur threw for 400 yards and some. And that, what's being chanted here in Morgantown
I don't know.
is being chanted on the internet at a very massive clip. They still seemingly have some of the same problems, at least in the first half, that they had last year. Offensive line was kind of getting bullied a little bit. The defense wasn't able to stop anything. Shiloh was taking cheap shots seemingly every single play, trying to set a tone. He got called for it. He stopped, I think. But nonetheless, this Colorado team was a spectacle. Shedeur takes shots like that, stands right up. I think he's a tough guy.
Oh, yeah.
I think he can spin it. I appreciate the way he goes about his business, but I don't know if what we saw last night leads to Colorado going to the college football playoff, and I don't know if what we saw last night leads to them winning 4 games, which a lot of people on the internet thought. I thought they were happy to get a win. We move along to next week to Nebraska, and we keep trying to stack some things, Ty.
Yeah, I mean, I think we found out what we already knew, and that's that Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are 2 of the most electrifying guys in college football. It's just the way it is. But like you said, you're expected to win that game last night. It's at home. We knew, and you talk about the defense, like Shedeur said going into the half, he's like, hey, we have to score on every possession. So, I can't throw interceptions. We can't have 3 and outs. We got to clean some stuff up. But you're right. Like, you're supposed to win that game. We'll find out.
This catch is not supposed to be caught, though.
That was ridiculous. That was one of the best catches in college football in the last several years. But like you said, we'll find out next week what Colorado is really all about, because Nebraska, obviously under Matt Rule, like there's a lot of hype with them. Colorado's dogs going into that game. If they have a good showing against Nebraska, I think that kind of quells a lot of the doubt that people have.
That catch right there is up for catch of the year. There was a guy that caught a football earlier on this hill, one-handed with a camera, going to be up for catch of the year as well, as they were tossing the football around out here. But what Travis Hunter did last night, and there was people on the internet, and I saw people that I respect with big brains saying, this dude's a wide receiver. What are we doing?
Yeah.
He didn't make a couple tackles. He got blocked early, and I think people are like, he's not going to put he's a lockdown corner.
Yep.
He is not a lot of lockdown corners are being asked to go fill the run or go make tackles, especially if you're doing 120 plays.
Yeah, played every snap but 2 last time.
He is a freak show to watch. It is so much fun to see them play football. But once again, there's still a lot of questions to be asked. Pat White, as a man who led an incredibly successful offense for a long time, what are your thoughts on the Colorado offense and Shedeur and Travis and Jimmy and everything they're doing over there?
2, 5, and 12 are talented. I know they say 12 won't tackle, but I saw him come and plug a hole once. 2, timing. He has it down pat. He understands the timing of the offense. He throws a great ball. And I don't think people give him the respect or credit he deserves for his touch on his passes. And, again, like you said, he's a tough guy. He's going to stand in there and take the hit and make the throw. So they'll do great until they come to Morgantown.
Hell yeah.
As a guy who was a former D1 AA football player yourself, what did you expect from North Dakota State last night? What are your thoughts on Colorado's win?
Well, here's what I got to say. Colorado, it was NDSU. Hey, no disrespect. Listen, Tyler Roll, offense coordinator there last year, they have a stout run game with some of the best. All right, some of the best. All right. It's still 1AA. Okay, what are you doing, Colorado?
Oh, right.
You don't know.
It's good football. It was a good win.
What's a good win?
Any win.
Any win. So we're on that boat last year, huh?
Okay, just real quick, talking about any win. When we get the big win tomorrow, it's not going to just be talked about any win. It's going to be talked about a historic win. And the name that's going to be associated with it is the starting quarterback for the West Virginia Mountaineers, Garrett Greene.
tarp. Great tarp.
Great tarp.
That's a phenomenal shirt.
You like it?
Yes, I absolutely love it. We have a chair for you if you want it. You can do whatever the
Best fans in the nation. Love you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Garrett, I don't want to, hype up the game too much. I think we all kind of understand what's happening here.
Yep.
They canceled classes K through 12 so that we could start this weekend early. Okay?
Yeah.
These fans have been out here, some of them since literally 4 a.m. And the energy is only going to continue through noon tomorrow to go watch your ass run wild all over Mountaineer Field.
Yep.
How do you feel?
Yeah.
I feel like you're a guy that's built for the moment, but how do you feel here one day removed?
Yeah, we feel great. Had a great week of prep. We're really looking forward to going out there tomorrow at 12:06 and playing in front of the best fans in the country.
Okay, so Mountaineer Field's going to go bananas. The electricity is palpable starting this morning all the way through.
Yep.
Tonight, what's your mindset? What's your thoughts? What's the rest of prep look like for Friday? So then I assume tomorrow morning, all systems go to run absolutely bonkers around the Penn State Nittany Lions. That's not him saying that, James Franklin.
No.
That's me saying that, James Franklin.
Yeah, we're gonna do our routine on Friday nights. Wake up tomorrow morning, ready to go and ready to kick this thing off.
I don't want to. The boys will have some questions for you. Last one for me. Has it felt different this week? Have you viewed it differently?
There you go.
Good ring to it.
Good syllables.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
You're in the Heisman conversation early, which is massive respect to you and everything you did last year. But how have you guys viewed this year? Have we just tried to keep it as a normal game week, or do you understand that this is a massive game for the program, for the state, and for the team as a whole?
Yeah, obviously you can feel it. You can just, even like a month ago, you could feel it around campus. This team's ready to go. We've had a great camp. We're ready to go play tomorrow.
Connor has a question for you, Gigi.
Yeah, you got the Neil Breezy shirt on. It looks unbelievable. One of the things that we took away from Neil Brown as of late is that sweet, sweet goatee. Was that your idea when the team saw that? Was that something that everyone just kind of rallied around, or how does the team feel about the new facial hair?
I think the team loves it. He's a known goatee guy, and I think he'd be the first to say that. So I think the goatee is here to stay.
Thank God. Wow.
Have you seen a different Neil Brown this year? The Neil Breezy shirts are awesome. I love everything about it.
Sweet.
But has it felt like a new Neil Brown this year, like with the team that you guys have? Because there was a time where we were trusting Klein. They were saying some bad things about him, and that's going to happen at West Virginia, a place that is very passionate about their football. But now expectations are through the roof. Have you sensed any difference between Coach Neil Brown, other than the look in the sweet American flag hat that he was wearing on SEC TV a week ago?
Yeah, the American flag hat was great.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's been the same guy. I think he expects a lot out of this team, rightfully so. We got the pieces to go do something special. Fall camp was really hard, spring ball was really hard. So now it's just about putting all those pieces together and going to play.
Pat White has a question for you, Gigi.
Essentially, at the receiver position, you all don't get much respect. But can you talk about the guys that people are sleeping on that you get to throw to every day? And that are going to show up on Saturday and make things happen for you?
Yeah, I think we start with Morgantown's own Preston Fox. He's been great, super dependable. You got another West Virginia kid, Hudson Clement, who's been special. And then one that's close to my heart, we share the same hometown, Traylon Ray, is going to be, he had some big time plays last year. And then we got two new guys, Justin Robinson, transfer, who's a big physical guy, and then Jaden Bray, transfer from Oklahoma State. They're super physical. They can kind of do it all. And then we got a tight end who's 6'7" and can run the hell out of a route. So we're special on all areas of the field. And now it's just up to us to go prove it.
Pat, I don't know if you know this, but after the spring game, the person that hosted the chemistry, camaraderie building cookout for the entire team was Garrett Green. So that's always good. Whenever the quarterback is the one that's hosting the cookout, the hangout. How tight is this team? Does it feel like the chemistry is through the roof? And what should we expect maybe from the crew?
Yeah, I think really going back to January, we've had a lot of really tight cookouts together, with the whole
Morgantown cookouts.
Morgantown cookouts, yeah.
Yeah.
And then kind of the spring game was the big cookout.
Yeah, you're good. Just power through it. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not your fault. It's ours.
But yeah, no, this team's really, really tight. You know, kind of going from both sides of the ball. You know, offense, defense. Everybody's super tight, and you know we're all bought in for one goal.
Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, GG running wild, brother. That's your full name, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Every once in a while, like it feels like there's a college quarterback that just seems to like fit with the university and the team and the offense. I wrote a college football preview. It's pretty good. And in there, I said that you just ooze pizzazz and charisma.
Pizzazz!
The panache on the game.
And moxie. Have you always had that? And like you running and obviously just making plays out of nothing. Have you always been like that? And talk about your fit with the university.
Yeah, so kind of going to my play style. You know, my favorite player growing up was Johnny Manziel.
Yep.
You know, he was my favorite player. And then really, I took a visit here my junior year of high school in 2019. I fell in love with everything about this place, the people, the university, the state, everything that it stands for. You know, I fell in love with the students, and this has been the perfect place for me. And I'm excited to make this year a special year.
A beer truck has a question for you.
With the changes you made at offensive line, do you feel comfortable with these guys coming up?
Thank you for Zach Frazier, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out Zach Frazier,
Shout out.
old roommate.
That's good Mountaineer. That's good Mountaineer.
Great Mountaineer.
He's good Mountaineer.
Yeah, so, you know, everybody on our offensive line has played a lot of ball. Brandon Yates will step in at center. He's a 6th-year guy, and he's played every position. He's played guard, tackle, and, you know, now he's playing center. And then Jaquay Hubbard and Nick Malone on that right side. They played a ton of ball, so I think they're all ready to go.
Last question here for you from Ty right over there.
Yeah, just you personally, after being in the offense for another year, having a bunch of starts under your belt, how much better do you feel like you've gotten from where you were at last year at the start of the season? Like, do you feel like there are a couple areas that you've gotten much better at in order to kind of take you guys over the hump? Yeah,
for sure. And I think this whole offseason's kind of been about finding those weaknesses and, you know, improving those so we can really go and have a special year. So I think working with my quarterback coach, David Morris, down in Mobile, Alabama, really working hard with him throughout the whole offseason to where I can go put together a special year this year.
Daphne, Alabama, very close to Mobile, Alabama, created an absolute legend. Happy to hear that town get another shout out. Garrett, last question for me. When I say running wild, did you start appreciating that I started saying that? Did we hate that I was saying that? And I don't know if you've heard, James Franklin said that all the shit that I have said, they've been using as bulletin board material. And a lot of it has been that Garrett Green's about to run wild all over the place. How does the team feel about the expectations, the thoughts, all the shit that's kind of surrounding this particular game? And have I added more bullshit to your life? If so, I do apologize.
No, not at all. Funny, first time I heard you say Gigi running wild, I was in the car riding back from Europe. I just landed and I saw that on my phone. So
don't hate it.
No, love it. Okay. Love it. I love the support of all the Mountaineers that have came before me. You know, we're trying to do something special this year. We feel really good about the pieces, the players, the plan, everything that we have in place. And now it's just about going and playing.
Hey, tomorrow night's Morgantown Cookout is going to be one that they're going to write movies about after you do your thing tomorrow. Go make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, your starting quarterback, Garrett Green.
Big dog.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you.
GG.
GG, I appreciate you. Hey, GG,
Yeah.
I appreciate you. No, you're good. You're good. No, save those legs. Rest those legs.
The Pat Cam is a great addition to the set.
Yeah, need more of that.
Yeah.
Hey, is that the actual Mountaineer mascot right there?
No, that's a replacement. He did not win the contest. I don't know how.
Oh, no.
I genuinely
Based it off him, right? How'd that guy get that sign up there?
How'd that sign get up here?
How'd that sign get up there? Damn it.
Hey, it's good Zoom work, brother.
They ain't changing it.
I love that dude's moxie.
Oh, yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
Just very comfortable, good quads.
Great quads.
Yeah,
He's got-
nice calves too.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
doesn't he?
golly, dude.
Yeah, he does got good quads and good calves.
Implants almost.
You know, because
They look like it.
Hey, once he starts doing this, once he starts doing that, and you see, he's a gamer. You know, like I think the thing I love about him most is like when he gets into it, you can tell he's like
He's awesome to watch.
he's a dog.
Oh, he's
like
dialed.
inside, outside, the way he plays. I love everything about it. It reminds me of a moxie that a certain Five had. Do you feel that whenever you watch Garrett and whenever you talk to him?
He got a little bit of a baseball background, so he's cool under pressure. I mean, I like him. Love to see him go.
I hope. Could you fathom what tomorrow would look like? Tomorrow could look like the most insane day in Morgantown in like 30 years.
I think it will be.
Be so sick.
Well, the man that'll be leading that has a phenomenal goatee.
Yeah.
A phenomenal leader.
Right.
Head coach of the Mountaineers, Neil Brown.
Coach, come on, coach.
Coach, big dog. Oh, yep.
Yes, sir.
God, let me get this out of your way. Your quarterback staying hydrated. He drank 2 bottles while he was up here. Obviously, it's incredibly hot. All right, Neil, what they're chanting there is trust the climb. That has been your mantra since you got here is trust the climb, trust the climb.
Yes, sir.
There was times where a lot of people,
They didn't trust it.
they were not trusting. They were not trusting the climb.
Yeah.
But going into this season, how last season ended with starting quarterback returning, seemingly some veteran leadership, it feels like all of West Virginia is behind you. Do you feel that? And what are the vibes going into this weekend?
Well, this is such a unique place, which I know that everybody on this stage really understands that. And you've lived it. Pat's lived it at some of its highest moments. All right, the Runaway Beer Truck has definitely felt it from the people here in the state. And, man, it's when you've got momentum and we have momentum right now, and you have 1.8 million behind you, man, it's special. And it's our job to keep it going tomorrow.
Okay, so the vision of the team that you had whenever you got here to what it is now, similar? Are these the types of guys that you wanted to be West Virginia Mountaineers under your leadership? And how do you view like recruiting and team and portal and the guys that you have taking the field tomorrow?
Well, fair question. So what I would say is you have to go back to January of 19 and think about how much different college football was in January of 19. I didn't have the vision that we were going to have COVID. I didn't have the vision that NIL was going to take the role it's taken. And so I think probably no different when you started this show. When you quit playing and decided to start this show, like I would say you're better at it now than you were when you started. You know?
Maybe.
But and you learn the business, right? And it's no different for me. Like I've been very fortunate. I think each year you learn. And like we hit a giant reset. We did not play. We did not meet expectations in 22. Didn't play very well. I thought we underachieved. And we hit the reset in January of 23 of the vision of how we want to play. And you study history. You hope to repeat it and maybe even exceed it. And I like the team. You know, we built it around. We want to be disciplined. We want to strain. We want to be smart, and we want to be tough. And we've got a football team that has that identity. Now we got to go show it against one of the top teams in the country.
And you're stopping by College Game Day tomorrow during warm-ups, which I very much appreciate. You've been gracious with your time here. The people are thankful for it. What is the one thing you're looking for from your team tomorrow? Like, obviously, nobody really knows what their team looks like until you actually start playing. Practice is what it is. But what's the one thing you'll be looking for early and be like, okay, this was a question, but now we got to figure it out?
Well, the message has been pretty consistent is, hey, you want to peak when things around you are peaking. And like things around here are peaking is like the atmosphere. The atmosphere around here is unbelievable. We had a radio chat last night that was standing room only. It's sold out. It's been sold out for a really long time. And so the message for our team is man, we need to peak at that time as well. And James Franklin, Penn State's going to roll in. They've got a great team. And they handed it to us last year at their field. Yep. And now we've got to be able to rise to the challenge. We've got to be able to rise to the challenge and show the progress that we've made over the last 19 months. And that's the goal.
They're saying truck Penn State.
Yeah.
They're trucking
They're
in.
trucking in.
They are trucking in from Penn State.
Naturally.
Obviously, Happy Valley.
Right.
They hopped in their trucks. Truck Penn State. They came down here, and obviously they're going into a buzzsaw tomorrow, Coach, which I know you absolutely love. Connor has a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Coach, so what do the next 20 hours look like? Obviously, you mentioned the preparation's kind of been done. Is it more so kind of taking care of the body? Pat mentioned Gigi drinking 2 bottles of water. He's probably drinking another gallon going in. And then what does tomorrow morning look like? How does that kind of go as you gear up for noon?
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you wearing my man Dan Stratford's jersey right here. Like, hey, supporting. Which West Virginia went to the College Cup last year in men's soccer. So, yeah, right on point. Yeah, right on point. So we had practice this morning. They've got a little bit of downtime now where we'll use some of the recovery stuff that we have, and then we'll come back at 5 o'clock. We got meetings. We'll do dinner, and then head to the hotel, do lights out about 9:30, and then we're getting up and going pregame in the morning. We kick off at a little after 12, so pregame's at 8. We'll do a walkthrough right after that and do the man trip. And you want to, the closest thing that we'll have to the man trip, it won't be exactly like this, but man, the man trip's going to be packed, and then we get
Explain
off.
the man trip. Explain the man trip.
Yeah, so the man trip's our walk into the stadium, and it's really a hat tip to all the coal miners. And it's a hat tip to the coal miners. And so when you go you go down into a mine, you ride in a little trolley cart, and they call it the man trip, and wherever you're going to work for that day, and that's us as West Virginia football acknowledging the past in the state.
So you guys walk into the stadium, place is going apeshit. Are you listening to music? What do you do? Are you taking it in?
Yeah, here's what I like. First of all, that's not normal. Like, this isn't normal behavior. You'll probably become accustomed to it, but like, this isn't normal to have this many people in one setting. It's not normal to come to the man trip. It's not. So
packed, Coach.
Yeah.
Come on.
What a cool setting.
No couch is safe tomorrow.
Hey, what's up? Hey, so look, this right here is not normal. So we go through this man trip. Man, I'm looking through the eyes of my 9-year-old son walking through there, and I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. And so, hey, can I give a gift? Can I give a gift real quick?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So I watched the show last Friday.
No.
All right. I watched the show last Friday. All right. I watched the show last Friday.
We did.
So what do you give the people that have everything, right? Like, you'll have everything. You're living the life, man. And so I'm going to get to these in a second.
That's good hat.
So living this, all right. I knew it was hot out here, so brought Country Road Trust beer. Here we go.
Come on. Waiting for a pint all day.
So
a proper pint.
We'll pass those around. We're not gonna leave Pat out. He's got to be together.
Thank you,
All
Coach.
Right? Wow. Yeah. So we got some. These are cold now. Like they're cold beer. We're not serving hot beer around here.
Ice cold, brother.
All right.
Cold
And then
beers, brother.
we got.
Oh boy.
Whiskey wine.
Oh boy.
We got Country Roads Trust. All right. 1863.
Pickleback.
So
that was a good year.
That's right. So, hey, y'all do that on your own. But like, now these are the black coal hats. Everybody's got one on stage, okay? Everybody's got one.
Sweet.
But I got to.
All this coming.
All right.
Wait, Pat, I thought you were done.
Yeah. I said that last Friday was going to be the last time I drank beer for the rest of my life. But whenever goateed Neil Brown delivers some Country Roads Trust beer in front of thousands of Mountaineers, you have to chug one down. Cheers, beers, Mountaineers. Let's remember this for the rest of time. Cheers to you, Neil. I appreciate you, buddy.
Cheers, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Gone.
All right, that's it.
That's it.
No, don't you start this shit with me.
One more beer.
He's already talking about it.
Hey, come on, dog. You know you're going out there.
Right on the wires.
Whoops.
It's good for him to cool him down.
Hey, Tone has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, I know now that we're in the season, every week is week to week, but 20 Big 12 titles just left the Big 12. So before the season, did you talk to that about the team? Because everyone's saying the Big 12 is wide open.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. These people don't believe that. There's only one team that's going to win the Big 12. But did you guys address that at all when Texas, Oklahoma left, just about the landscape of the conference that you're in?
Yeah, so we really didn't talk a whole lot about Oklahoma and Texas leaving. What we did is we talked about the quality of the league. And you look at it 1 through 16, and we brought some quality teams in the last 2 years. Cincinnati came in; they've been in the playoff. Yep. Utah has won multiple Pac-12 titles. So you're bringing in really quality teams. And here's the thing: so we've got to win playoff games. The Big 12, we got to win some playoff games. But if you look from top to bottom, the Big 12 is the most competitive league. But what we've got to do is we've got to go win those playoff games to move ourselves up the ladder as far as Power 4 conferences.
Yeah, and obviously you got to put the work in every single day, every single meeting, yada, yada, yada. But in college football, you need the world to see your program and experience your program. 50 recruits this weekend, Kevin? Is that accurate?
Yeah, we had to turn them away. So it's the 50 of the who's who recruits, and they're going to see one of the best atmospheres in all of college football. It's going to be electric tomorrow.
I think it's the right weekend.
Yeah, it's the right weekend.
It's the right weekend to have him in here. Owen Schmidt has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, talking to Jed Drennan, a little bit about your preparation for this season. What is your philosophy on physicality? Like, how do you coach that?
Yeah, so I think it has to be a tenet of our program here. And we were purposeful about that in fall camp. And Jed will tell you. And so we took this approach on, we had 2 scrimmages, 2 full contact. We went over 120 plays in both scrimmages. And the reason we did that, because we've got to be prepared in week 1. So what we took is kind of an NFL mentality. We treated them as 2 preseason games, and really trying to tell our team, hey, this is game 3. It says game 1 on the schedule. We've already played 2 full games. Now this is game 3. We should know who we are and what we're about. We tackled as much as they'd let us tackle. And so that was we got a little sound going on here, huh?
No, you're good.
All right. So, but no, I thought that we were really physical, and I think we have to be. That's how we're going to have to win in this league.
I dropped my
Yeah, he dropped his beer.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, he dropped his beer up.
That has been kind of some of the aura that's really helped our teams in West Virginia over the past be that upper dog there is you got to bring that physical aspect. And I know today's game, in the modern game, we're trying to retain, injury reduction and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to really get a grasp of how a modern coach in today's world gets that physicality aspect into the game.
Yeah, so what you have to do, there's a bunch of science, all right, but you got to trust your eye as well. So there's science. Like, we never practice more than 3 days in a row, which for old school football, that's crazy, right? But you're trying to peak. You're trying to peak when we kick it off tomorrow at 12:05. You got to peak at that time. But you can't. This is a physical game. You can't take the contact out of this game. It's a collisions game. It's not a contact game. And we trained our guys during fall camp. And we were very fortunate. We came out relatively healthy. We came out to this point with most of the guys we expected to play are going to play tomorrow.
Awesome, and I'm looking forward to it.
Pat White has a question for you, Coach.
Yes, sir, Pat.
Earlier, Coach, you mentioned that 1.8 and how special it is. I know you spent some time down in my home state at Troy, where you're not the top dog.
Yeah.
Here, you are the big dog. So how does that feel to you, and how do you convey that message to the recruits and the current players that are here?
Yeah, well, first of all, Daphne, Alabama, met your brother over there. Yeah, and so that's a special place, and was great for my kids are here, or my daughters are here today. My wife's here, and Alabama was great to us. Spent 9 years there, and very fortunate to be there. And first offense coordinator job, first head coaching job at Troy, so very partial to Troy University in Alabama. But West Virginia is unique, and I'm from Kentucky. I'm from Central Kentucky, so I feel like I understand the Appalachia background that both states have, kind of kindred spirits, West Virginia and Kentucky. So I think that works in the favor to understand. And I said this on another program, is there's 3 like programs in the country to me that are only one Power 4 football team in their state and no professional sports at the highest level. And that's Nebraska, that's Arkansas, and that's West Virginia. And in West Virginia, the thing that's unique to me is you have an opportunity to affect an entire state. You can affect you can give hopes and dreams to an entire state by how you perform on the football field. You did it. You know what I mean? Owen did it. Pat did it. You lifted the hopes and the dreams of the entire state by how you played the game. Not just that you won, but how you played the game and how you embraced the people. And I think that's why Garrett's become such a fan favorite, because he's embraced it. He understands the culture. He understands the importance. He understands that we represent a blue-collar people that are passionate about the Flying WV, and they want to see guys that spill it on the field. And very appreciative of you three guys. I appreciate you being here and bringing this here. And I speak for our program that this has been a big lift for us.
Well, we're incredibly lucky to be here. Thank you for welcoming us back. I think that is a big part of the conversation. Alongside Ren Baker, athletic director, who'll be joining us later, we feel back at home. It feels like Morgantown in 2007, 2008 right now. The vibes are through the roof. Can't wait to see what you do with the team this year. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the West Virginia Mountaineers, Neil Brown. Thank you, man. And as we wrap up this first hour that's had a little bit of adversity, thank you for the hats, Coach. That's awesome. We, maybe dropped off the air, maybe didn't have any sound. We wouldn't want it any other way here in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Hell yeah.
This is tough people. This is a badass people. This is a passionate people. This is a football town, and this weekend, the whole world is reminded of that. Cheers to you. And cheers to hour 2 on the other side of this break, where we'll have Nick Saban, West Virginia man.
Yeah.
Born and raised in West Virginia, join us. We'll have Ren Baker. We'll have Pac-Man Jones. We'll have a great time as we kick off the biggest weekend in West Virginia football in a long, long time. Here's to everybody. Take 3. We'll see you on the other side. Runaway beer truck, you're the man.
Hello, Mountaineer Land. I'm Pat McAfee, your kicker and punter.
Pat McAfee made a superb open field tackle near midfield. Pick up the Bulldogs' drive on a 2nd and 6.
Nice try. They have a wheel. The kicker did it again. The 2nd week in a row, Pat McAfee seeing further damage. And look at that, Pat McAfee getting major props on the sideline.
Iglesias turns the corner across midfield. McAfee in his way. And Iglesias is wrapped up by the kicker at the 33.
What's up, y'all? It's Adam Pac-Man Jones, WVU Mountaineer. My top 5 things about WVU. Number 5, the parties. Front row, specifically Sigma Chi. It was unbelievable. That was number 5 on my list. Number 4, we're singing Country Road after the game. Country Road, take me home to a place I belong, West Virginia. Oh, yeah, that was number 4. Number 3 was getting to walk out that tunnel at Mountaineer Field. It was nothing like it. The crowd was ecstatic, and we are the only major team in the state of West Virginia. Unbelievable field. Number 2 on the list, the people that you meet. I met my best friend at WVU. People treat you 100% like family, not what you think when you first arrive there. Number 1, Cheek Lake was number 1. Summertime, you can ignore the noise and get away and have a little fun, and we did that. I mean, we would go jet skiing a lot at Cheek Lake. And these are my top 5 things that I love and had a joy doing at WVU. Tell me.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Morgantown, West Virginia. It's Feel Good Friday, August 30th, 2024, and hour 2 of the program starts right now. Football! He's taking over this city this weekend, as it has done so many times in the past. There's been a couple Penn State fans that have come into this crowd, and I'll tell you what, they have not been treated hospitably, but I'll tell you what, they will never forget the time they came into Morgantown and tried to run their mouth right here on Woodbury. Yep. Yep. All right.
What?
We are now 23 hours away from kickoff. West Virginia hosting number 8 in the country, Penn State, as 8.5-point underdogs. The energy and buzz is palpable. We're so incredibly lucky to be here. I'm not alone, obviously. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here, and 2 living West Virginia Mountaineer legends have been joining us all first hour and for the rest of the program. The runaway beer truck, Owen Schmidt.
Hell yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, a man that transformed this town more than anybody in its history. He was a video game magician. He was an on-field demon. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat White. All right, so obviously the first hour was awesome. We talked to Garrett Green. We talked to Neil Brown. Connor, what was your sense from them? They seemed calm. They seemed relaxed. Neil Brown was handing out beers that are 4% alcohol to us.
Yeah, very prepared. It feels like, they heard the noise. Obviously, we all saw the Neil Brown, no West Virginia players being on the top 100 when it came to, I believe, ESPN's list or an SEC list by a certain somebody.
Some stupid list.
Feels like they are kind of ready to prove themselves almost, which you really don't get, especially after, finishing 4th in the Big 12. It feels like they're ready to go. I mean, I don't think Morgantown, and granted, I'm not like you guys. I didn't go here. I don't know what it was like in late 2000s and how electrifying it was. I mean, shit, I'm looking at the Sugar Bowl right now. It's sitting in front of me. These 2 trophies, absolutely glorious. But it does feel like the buzz is back. Morgantown is back. West Virginia is back. And, Neil Brown and Garrett Green, they're kind of embracing that, which I feel like is the right move to do. And, they're ready. They're ready to take that next step. Diggs asked Garrett Green, what did you do this offseason to kind of get better? He went down to Bama, where the greats are born, and he figured out what he needs to improve on. And, if I'm Penn State, I'm pretty worried right now about what's about to go down in Morgantown tomorrow around noon.
Yeah, the buzz is awesome. It's electrifying. It does feel like it is a standard operating fall back whenever Pat White was our quarterback, because every weekend there was an opportunity to do something special, and every weekend there was an opportunity to burn 30 to 2,000 couches. And there are nervous couches around Morgantown again, and that's a beautiful thing because this is a sports town. I think they tried to kind of harness that for a little bit. I think they were kind of scared of being the image of being a school that's about a good time, about a school that's about celebrating, about a school that's about the people that come here. They're not scared to, go to class every once in a while, and then also hammer some beers at night. We're embracing it all back. West Virginia is a special place, and this weekend it'll all be on display. College football week 1 kicked off last night in magical fashion. North Carolina gets a massive win over Minnesota in Ty. I know that you were super pumped to watch Minnesota do their thing on primetime television. They lose to Mac Brown. The kicker The kicker for North Carolina, Burnett, was their MVP. And the punter, Tom McGinnis, was their other MVP. You're talking about 52-yarders late in the second half. You're talking about 46-yarders late in the fourth quarter. You're talking about punts pinning Minnesota down at the 1. This was old school Big Ten football, and an ACC team came in and out Big Ten Minnesota. Ty, how do you feel about what happened last night on primetime television?
Yeah, I was actually shocked. I mean, home game for Minnesota. Obviously, we know early in the season, until about the midway point in November, the snake oil in Minnesota is potent. And it tastes good, and everyone buys into it, and then they kind of taper off. But like you said, the specialists for North Carolina won them that game last night. I mean, Max Johnson obviously had that terrible injury, and who knows? I mean, I don't know if it's been reported what's going to happen to him, but I mean that's a hell of a win for North Carolina. They're kind of in that period where they really don't know what they have post Drake May. That is a massive win for them, and kind of gives them enough juice at least going into next season, because you lose a game like that and you lose your starting quarterback for the year like that. That's a recipe for going into a straight free fall. Their specialist came in and saved the day for them.
Yeah, it was a big-time win, and I think Herb Street, whenever we were in Dublin, was like, this feels like an 18-16 game or something like that.
Spot on.
Yeah. Spot on. Herbie does it again.
Yeah.
Last night also. And these people have been chanting Garrett Heisman all day.
Garrett Heisman!
Easy.
Garrett Heisman!
Woo, makes sense.
Garrett Heisman!
I believe.
Believe, baby.
There's a 25-year-old who has his campus chanting his name as well. 5 touchdowns in the first half. Cam Rising in Utah had a big performance last night, Tony Davis.
Yeah, Cam Rising went 10 of 15 with 5 touchdowns. Okay, so yeah, pretty good, pretty efficient. Obviously, he comes back after not playing at all last year, so Utah's got their offense back after coming into the Big 12, which is going to be a new test for them. But throwing 5 touchdowns on 15 passes, pretty good. Obviously, Southern Utah, not the greatest of opponent for them. But Utah's favored to win the Big 12.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's bull.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Cam Rising, obviously an absolute dog, got injured last year.
Yep.
A pig farmer came in and played. Cam Rising is a very good football player, only played one half, very mature, was spinning it all over the yard. Utah gets a massive win, the biggest win of the night. NC State, though, another top 25 team. They struggled early, end up getting a win. Thoughts on that going forward, Tone D?
Yeah, they were down going into the fourth quarter when they were 30-point favorites, which was insane. And NC State's supposed to be one of those sleeper teams in the. They're ranked. They're one of the sleeper teams in the ACC, and Western Carolina gave them pretty much everything they could handle until the fourth quarter. Grayson McCall, new quarterback from Coastal Carolina, came over. He eventually settled in, and they pulled away to win 38-21. But there was some buttholes that were puckered early in NC State.
And I'm going to mention another game that took place last night, but I'd like to preface this so that everybody understands what side of the fence we are on. A man who helped build everything that has happened here at West Virginia is now the coach at Jacksonville State. Pat, you know this man very well. Rich Rodriguez and their Jacksonville State team got their asses beat by Coastal Carolina last night. 55 points hung on Jacksonville State. There was some classic Rich Rodriguez moments where he was chewing out his players. He's got a new team, a big team. I thought they were going to win last night, honestly. I genuinely thought that because Rich Rodriguez is coaching them. When you see him get fired up like that, what are some PTSD moments that you potentially have?
Well, the word on the street is Rich Rod has changed. He's calmed down a little bit, but after that butt smacking, I think he's going to go back to the old Rich.
I hope so. I hope he does. I hope he brings back the fire a little bit. Oh, and they hung 55 on a Rich Rodriguez team. I would not want to be in practice this morning or in any meeting going forward for anybody on that team.
That's going to be a conditioning test waiting to happen.
Ooh.
I talked to Travis Trickett last night. And said,
Who is?
Who is Coastal Carolina's offensive coordinator.
Okay.
So, obviously, there's some history here. Travis was here while Rich was here. Obviously, his dad was here, Rick Trickett.
He's the coach, I think, still at Jacksonville State.
So he's still O-line down there at Jacksonville State. I said, why'd you have to do Rich dirty like that? And his response, you know.
I don't know.
No, what is to know, my friend?
I don't know what it is. We don't know. We're all. We don't know. Hold on.
What?
What?
I think we're all kind of wondering.
What? Right there. You see the sign? What?
That, dude?
What did he say? Mr. Beard Truck, what?
Oh, you say Mr. Beer Trash?
What did offense coordinator for Coastal Carolina, Travis Trickett, whose dad was the offense coordinator or the offensive line coach for Jacksonville State with Rich Rodriguez? What did Travis Trickett say about it the whole night?
F that.
Really?
Oh, okay.
He wanted to get him. He wanted to bury him.
Oh,
he certainly did.
He buried him.
Yeah, well, Rich Rodriguez will get those boys back if we know anything about him. Rich Rodriguez, a very successful football coach who has changed football forever, born and raised in the great state of West Virginia. Jimbo Fisher, a man who has transformed college football, has had massive success, born and raised in West Virginia. And a man who was born and raised in Fairmont, West Virginia, who would go on to become the greatest college football coach of all time. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Saban.
Hey, I'm sure there's somebody out there from Monongah, and I'm sure there's somebody out there from Fairmont, and all them good places me and Terry used to go.
Okay, Coach, they just gave you a round of applause. I don't think that's ever happened for anybody that isn't associated with West Virginia University. You're the GOAT. We're incredibly thankful for your time. And I want to let you know, your home state has showed up for us. It's 100 degrees with 100% humidity. And they're standing on concrete and a hill, Coach.
Tell them all we're still singing Country Roads, man.
Country roads,
You got it.
take me home
to the place
I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country road. Coach, it hits the same as it did, I assume, 50 years ago. But let's talk about this particular game. It's a massive one for both West Virginia and for Penn State. As somebody who watches film on every school in the country, what do you see being the determining factor in this game tomorrow, Coach?
Well, I think that West Virginia's proven that they can run the ball effectively against just about anybody they play. I think that's going to be the challenge for them against Penn State. Penn State, pretty good defensive team, and they like to pressure a lot and create negative plays. So I think if the quarterback for West Virginia can create a little balance in the game for them, be able to throw the ball effectively, that's going to be that'll have a huge impact on the game.
Okay, so obviously Garrett Green's going to run wild. That's Garrett Heisman. It's been ringing through these hollers and hills all morning, and I assume all offseason because the expectations are through the roof. The buzz is palpable. We're here on Friday in the middle of Life Sciences Building is not supposed to host a show or an event, but they put it together, and these people have showed up. Whenever you're James Franklin in Penn State, and this is your opener, and you know how big it is on the other sideline, what is your message to the team? What do you think Penn State's feeling about this weekend, and how would you settle the boys down knowing a buzzsaw is waiting for them in Morgantown?
Well, I think you said it right there. There's a buzzsaw in Morgantown. Man, it's a hard place to play. The fans there have great passion. It's going to make it be very difficult for Penn State, especially in the opener, to manage the noise, to sort of manage the game, to be able to stay focused on execution and not get sidetracked on any of the other things that are going on, because it's going to be difficult for them. And you're always worried as a coach in the first game about how your team's going to execute, and that's going to be really, really the challenge for them playing on the road at West Virginia in the first game.
Yeah, it's a noon kickoff, too. Does that change anything, Coach? Because it's a massive game, and I know with Fox and Big Noon Kickoff, this is where primetime games have now getting slotted. But night in Morgantown is how I thought this game was going to go. Noon, is that better for the team that is ranked higher, lower, home team, away team? What do you think about that, the timing of it all?
Well, I really think that, and there's some statistical information on this, that it's more difficult to play good defense on the road at night for whatever reasons. And maybe it's the passion of the crowd. I don't know what it is. I personally never like to play at noon because I like players to be in a rhythm of when they practice and all that. But I can't tell you if it's an advantage or a disadvantage, but some people like to get up and play and get it going and get it on, and I bet you West Virginia feels that way about it.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
And, Coach, to be clear, they opened a lot of the bars around here at 8 a.m. this morning, so that game being at noon might actually be like a safety net for these people to survive, because the game's over at 3:30. Then we got another 12 hours to celebrate this thing. Woo. Morgantown could be upside down. You talk about first game and seeing what your team does. Let's talk about Colorado last night. And I know you and Coach Prime are obviously close because of Aflac, and this entire thing. What did you see from that team last night? And are last year's issues the same issues that they're probably going to have this year? That's what everybody on the internet's saying, Coach.
Well, I think that a couple things. First of all, I think they got better skill guys to go with the quarterback, which I think is going to be important. I think they need to try to improve their ability to run the ball because they didn't have much balance last night, which showed up at the end of the game when they couldn't take the air out of it and gave the ball back to North Dakota State. I do think their defense might be a little bit improved. Now, whether it's good enough, I don't know. But you have to be a really good defense to play with that kind of offense who has to throw the ball all the time. Just like they probably gave up 90 yards at the end of the game that the other team shouldn't have ever had the ball. So, I think they're improved. Are they improved enough to have a winning season? I hope so.
Coach, are you able to, with the modern day, and you got to experience it a little bit with the transfer portal and NIL, and I think they said 42 incoming players onto that Colorado roster. Are you able to make a flip in one offseason in modern football, you think? Just automatically flip everything you have? And because they didn't win a lot of games last year, which is being thrown out a lot last night after the way that game went against North Dakota State. Do you think with the way the transfer portal is, with the way they've utilized it, can you become a very successful program almost overnight with this transfer portal?
Well, I think the transfer portal helps because it gives you another resource to bring in players to the program. But the thing about the transfer portal is, are you bringing the right guys in? Are you bringing the right kind of guys in? Are these guys going to fit into your culture and do things the way you want them done? How are they going to buy into your organization? How's it going to fit in with the other players you have on your team? So I think when you have a lot of guys in the transfer, the transition of how those guys fit is really the most important thing.
Yeah, in picking the right guys and recruiting and in the transfer portal, I think you only have like a week to talk to some guys, right? Because they're making a decision. It's like, how do you know? How do you not know? I guess you just got to build an NFL factory in the state of Alabama, which this West Virginia boy was able to accomplish. Connor has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, speaking of flipping teams, after week one, I feel like a lot is revealed. I mean, Florida State, of course, they lose to Georgia Tech, and then you even look at a team like NC State that started real slow and then came on in the fourth quarter last night. How much do these college teams after week one kind of change their philosophy? Is there a lot of that? Obviously, last year with Milroe, he went to the bench for a little with you and then came back and kind of exploded the rest of the season for you guys. But how much does that happen to these teams, and how often does it happen for a lot of these programs to kind of change their philosophy after, maybe a down week to start the season?
Right. I think you have to figure out who you are. I think sometimes, you think coming out of practice that you're something that maybe you're not. And when you get in a game, you see that this is not who we are. We got to figure out who we are. And each player on your team needs to figure out who they are and what they have to do to play winning football. So you have to figure it out as a coach. How do we play winning football with this group? What kind of system do we have to feature the players that we have? And the players got to figure out, what do I have to do to play winning football, and go out and work on it so that you can make the improvement. I think our team last year did a great job of that. After losing to Texas and playing horrible at South Florida, and then being able to get in the playoffs, I think they did a really good job of self-assessing and making improvements that were necessary for them to be a good team.
The Milroe bouncing back after that whole thing, too, was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
That
Incredible.
was awesome to watch. The way it was handled, and I feel like that's another, way you coached. You send a message to the entire team, and I think you even told us whenever you were doing the weekly spot last year, you said, let's see how he handles it. Let's see how he matures. Let's see how he bounces back. And I think that really brought the entire team together, which is once again why you're the GOAT. And speaking of GOATs, the greatest mountaineer of all time, Pat White, has a question for you, Coach Saban.
Coach Saban, I'm going to take you back a little bit. You may or may not recall this, but coming out of high school, I was committed to you all.
I recall it. Don't worry about that. I damn sure recall it.
and flipped and went to West Virginia. My first question is, let's go Mountaineers, of course. My first question would be, how long would I have lasted at quarterback before you put me in the secondary backpedaling? And then my second question is, what are your thoughts on the evolution of the quarterback?
Well, I think it's, first of all, the evolution of the quarterback is fantastic. I think, the spread offense, it's beneficial to have a more athletic guy playing quarterback, which you obviously did a tremendous job of, and Rich did a great job. Rodriguez did a great job of utilizing that. But I would have never moved you from quarterback unless you saw that you could have a better future at another position. I never made anybody in our program ever play something they didn't want to play. So you could have stayed at quarterback and may have been a great quarterback at LSU or wherever we were at the time, but I would have never made you play a position that you didn't want to play. Now, you never believed me then, but I got no reason now. I mean, I'm this old guy that's just, going fishing every now and then. So I'm telling you the truth. So I would have never moved you unless you wanted to move and you saw you had a better future at another position.
Hey, Pat, I assume that is a question you've wanted to ask Coach Saban for a long time.
Very long time.
And I would like to tell you, Coach, I don't care if you would have moved him or wouldn't have moved him. The fact that he thought you might have moved him and he ended up in West Virginia, we are all very thankful for.
Hell yeah.
We are all very, very thankful for. You're talking about a whole new...
If he had to go anywhere besides LSU, I'm glad he went to West Virginia, and I was really, really proud of the kind of program that he had, or performance that he had there, and the kind of career that he had there. Really proud of him.
You should have seen the leadership too, Coach. I mean, this dude had the entire state, obviously, in his palm. He could have been an asshole. He could have been arrogant. Instead, all he was giving to the entire locker room. You know all these NIL deals we're seeing where these quarterbacks are gifting people everything? Pat White would have gave back all of his money to the locker room, and we know that. And that is why I think we all love you so much, and we'll run through a wall for you for the rest of your life. You need to know that.
Hell yeah.
Tone Diggs has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, we had Garrett Green on earlier, and he said his favorite quarterback growing up was Johnny Manziel. And if I remember correctly, you guys had to go into Texas A&M when Manziel basically started his Heisman run and didn't have an easy time with Manziel. What is it about quarterbacks like Garrett Green and Manziel that can make something out of nothing that give these great defenses like Penn State has so much trouble?
Well, what always gave us the most trouble, which I can speak for, is, Johnny Manziel beat us at Alabama, playing in our stadium, his first year starting as a quarterback. And, we play a lot of match coverage and a lot of man-to-man, so people have their back to the quarterback. More people have their back to the quarterback. So if you don't have a really athletic front that can manage the quarterback scrambling, he killed us running. So then the next year, we had this 49-48 game that we won, which he was phenomenal in, again. And Evans was his best receiver, and he had over 200 yards. So Johnny could throw it, but his ability to scramble and run and make plays, and how you had to try to, contain him from being able to run, and Pat was the same way, but they can still throw. So you're compromising the coverage part of what you do for trying to make sure the quarterback doesn't kill you running and scrambling.
Why do you think it took, because you coached throughout all the eras, obviously at the highest of level, and Jalen Milroe, your last quarterback that you coached, was very much a guy that, why do you think people were so hesitant to maybe move to this style of football? Doesn't it seemingly make sense to have the guy that touches the ball the most be the most electrifying player on the field? Why has there always been a hesitance, you think, Coach?
I'd never been hesitant to have an athletic guy play quarterback. I think, people don't want the quarterback to get hurt, so they think they're protecting them by not running them, which if the guy's an effective runner, then you're making a mistake and really holding the guy back from being all that he can be as a player. And I think in the old days of football, it was more run the ball, and the quarterback was a passer. And that was like how people evaluated quarterbacks. But that's not the way it is anymore. I mean, there's too many effective ways. A lot of this zone read is nothing more than option football. It just doesn't look like it. But there is a pitch man. There's somebody in the flat. There is a quarterback pulling the ball. Somebody's got to be able to take him and be athletic enough to take him. And you have the option to throw it out there to the pitch man. So having an athletic quarterback is a huge advantage. And I think Jalen Milroe is going to have a fantastic year this year because he's become a better passer. He's a better processor now, and he still has the athleticism to make great plays with his feet.
Hey, Coach, whenever you think about that read option, how sweet is it to have a fullback that can run like a 4.6, weighs 265, will chug a 30-pack, and also bust his head open as one of the options? And did you know of the great beer truck Owen Schmidt whenever he was in school?
I did not.
Oh, Coach. Oh.
But if you have an athletic H-back guy to do this stuff, it's a pain for the defense now because the linebackers got to fall back and cover that guy. It changes gaps for everybody. So it is a pain, and you got to have experienced players to be able to do it.
Coach, he would drink 50 beers a night, too. I mean, it's just like a whole different animal. You know, it feels like the fullback position is kind of obsolete, but then you see like Juszczyk, and you see Patrick Ricard, and you see some offense that utilize it. The fullback's never going to disappear.
Nope.
Owen Schmidt highlights are always going to bang, always going to hit, and you're always going to remember. You should see what happened after all these highlights. That was almost even more impressive. Hang cleaning 500-plus pounds. Absolute icon. Damn. Ty Schmidt has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, going back to this game in Morgantown tomorrow, if you're Neil Brown, with all the extra hoopla that's going on around this game, you know, with our show being here, obviously Pat mentioned Big Noon Kickoff being there tomorrow, kind of similar to last year when you guys were playing Texas, game days there. Everyone is talking about how massive of a game this is. You know, tomorrow is the biggest game in Morgantown since 1998. How do you manage, you know, your players playing with the right level of emotion and not getting kind of too hyped up or burning themselves out early, obviously, when you know it's going to be a dogfight for 4 quarters?
Well, that's what you always worry about, I think, as a coach is, how much are they distracted by what's happening around them? Because some guys that aren't very mature get very distracted by game day being there, the crowd, all the hoopla that goes around the game. So they're not focusing for the wrong reasons. And then you got some guys that are great competitors that get very anxious because they want to play so well they can taste it, and that really doesn't help them play well. So getting everybody kind of having the right psychological disposition about focusing on what's in front of them, not worrying about all the other stuff, and being in not too high, not too low, but not playing with emotion, but being intense, and play with emotion, but don't be emotional, I guess is a better way to say it, because when you're emotional, you make bad decisions.
I'll tell you what, Coach, what about when you're drunk, like last Friday? What about when you're a little boozed up because you're...
I was trying to manage you the best I could.
You really were, Coach, and I appreciate that, but there was no chance. There was absolutely no chance in Dublin, and it feels like it's starting to become a similar type of atmosphere here in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Oh, boy.
I can't wait to get down to you in Texas, Coach. I can't wait to get down there. Owen Schmidt has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, would have been an absolute honor to play for you. Question. Today's NIL transfer portal, is there room for walk-on players anymore in the game?
Well, it really is a concern to me because some of the things moving forward that have been presented is that all players would be on scholarship and there'd be no opportunities for walk-ons. And, you know, I think that's not good. And it's all participation number thing that people are trying to control. But there's been so many guys that have been walk-ons who got scholarships, Rashad Johnson played, 10 years in the league, was a walk-on at Alabama, for us. And, to not be able to offer those opportunities to guys, I think is, it's just very unfortunate. And I hate it because, those are the kind of guys you want on your team, man. They're motivated the right way. They're working hard every day. They're trying to prove something, and not to be able to give them the opportunity to do that, I don't think is something that's good for college sports.
Owen Schmidt was a walk-on here. He left a legend. Will always be, heralded a hero around Morgantown. I mean, those are the stories. College football has obviously the pageantry and the big games and the big stories. The walk-on who paid their own way, worked as a bouncer at a club, then got on the team, then started, then did so much that you get a scholarship, and then you go on and make it to the NFL. That's a story that programs talk about forever. So I hope we're able to figure out a way to keep that in there. And Coach, I'm about to hop on a bird here in about 2, 3, maybe 4 hours, depending upon how this whole thing goes after the show to get down to you. I can't wait for tomorrow. Largest game day in the history of week 0. And do you know why? Do you know why, Coach?
I guess because it was in Dublin, Ireland.
No, it's because of you, brother. You are incredible on television.
Hell yeah.
You are incredible. on television. Which leads me to Connor's question for you, pal.
Yeah, Coach, you got to be honest with us here. Did you call like Glenn Powell or Brad Pitt before your Verbo commercial? Because the acting in that thing by you was just second to none. I don't know how you did it.
No, Pat's my idol. He helps me on TV, sitting next to me.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be like him on that commercial. But the one thing Miss Terry said is I didn't have to do any acting in that commercial. That's just the kind of jerk I always am.
All right, hey, whatever works, brother. It's all working, and we can't thank you enough. I'll see you down in Texas tomorrow morning. You're the man. From any message to West Virginia here before we let you go?
Go Mountaineers, man. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Nick Saban.
Yeah, Coach.
Fairmont, West Virginia, right down here.
Yep.
Pepperoni roll, right?
Yep.
Fairmont, West Virginia is like known for.
Let's go, Mountaineers! Let's go, Mountaineers! Let's go, Mountaineers!
Speaking of Mountaineers, let's pivot to one who just made all of West Virginia proud during the NBA playoffs. A man who's getting tweeted by Ben Stiller, took over the Big Apple, an absolute beast. Ladies and gentlemen, Dude McBride!
Big no.
Clean dap.
What's up, big man? Thank you for making time. That was a really good. Yeah, you're all good, man.
Great dap.
That was great.
Yeah,
That was great.
yeah, I could hear it from here.
That's an NBA dap.
That was a good pop right there.
That was good pop.
Hey, take it in, man. You represented West Virginia so damn well.
I love it here, man. Nothing but love for this great state.
Okay, so obviously the football team feels like it's all the way back. West Virginia went through a little bit of a thing last year. Feels like we're going to be back. West Virginia basketball has an incredible history. You're obviously one of the pieces of it all. What should people that don't know a lot about West Virginia know about West Virginia basketball, you think?
Gritty, tough. I mean, you come into the Coliseum, you're going to have a long night. That's all they need to know. That's all they need to know.
You felt like you were ready for NBA basketball coming through West Virginia, and when you have that playoff run, is it like dreams coming true in real time? How do you kind of take it all in as it's taking place with the Knicks?
I mean, honestly, hard work, preparation, and just trusting in God, honestly, just making sure, I'm trying to do everything I can to help the team win. So it feels right, honestly.
Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Deuce, obviously a big storyline for the Knicks this offseason is the Villanova Knicks. Are you going to be able to bring in maybe some West Virginia guys, maybe even it out a little bit?
I think I definitely need to, yeah. I think they got some guys that are going to be pro ready for sure.
Hell yeah.
How do you feel going into the offseason? Obviously, you are incredibly wealthy right now. Congratulations.
Boom.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you.
Earned it. What are you working on? What are you getting better at? And how do you view like NBA basketball versus college basketball now?
I mean, thankfully I went here. Coach Huggins got me right. Definitely prepared me well for the league. Prepared me well for the league. So honestly, I try not to be one-dimensional. I try to work on my whole game. Obviously, I started off as a great defender, and I worked on my game really hard to become a great shooter. So honestly, just making sure I can run the team.
Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Deuce, a lot of people obviously with Tom Thibodeau talk about like, hey, he's just going to run you into the ground until your legs break. But coming to West Virginia and playing that gritty style, do you feel like when you got there, it's like, oh, okay, I'm ready to play for a coach like this?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, treadmills. You guys know about the treadmills?
No, tell me.
You don't know about the treadmills?
No. These are Huggies treadmills?
Huggies treadmills. I mean, shout out Javon Carter, treadmill mentality. Man. Any mistake you have, turnover, missed box out, missed free throw, not finishing the and one, treadmill, 15 miles per hour for about 40 seconds. Hop right back into the drill.
So it's almost like the Knicks are the perfect place for you with
perfect
the way Thibodeau
place.
runs it.
Absolutely.
So when you guys play against like the Pacers, in Indiana, what is it about that? And we got a chance to watch you live. It was so cool that every Knicks fan screams "Dude" as soon as you get the ball. What was the ride like through the playoffs? Obviously, as we all watched it happen.
I mean, it was amazing. I feel like,
just a few things at the end could have gone our way, would have been totally different.
Yeah, maybe.
But, that's a part of the game. And I think, the pieces we added, everything is coming together really well.
How do you feel about the energy here on campus for this big Penn State game? And obviously you wouldn't miss this for the world. We're lucky that you stopped by. But how do you feel about the energy on campus right now?
I feel like they could be a little louder right now. I feel like they could be a little louder right now. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, they've been here since 5 a.m. It's 150 degrees. There it is.
Boom.
There's the energy. There's the energy. We got to hide the couches. That's all I know.
Yeah, we're hoping for that. Deuce, before we let you go, is there any way you can shoot some basketballs towards that hoop right there for these wonderful people? There's a guy here, Logan, that was here at 6 a.m. wearing that white hat right there.
Yeah.
He's a junior. He's on a couple scholarships, but not all of them. If you make one of your first 3 shots, I will pay the rest of that guy's tuition.
Boom. Let's go, baby.
I'm pretty confident.
Now,
where am I shooting it from?
You tell me. Is the stage too tight here for you to shoot from here? Or do you want to go down on the?
I might have to go down here.
Okay, you absolutely can do that.
I might have to go down here.
You can do that.
Let's go.
3 shots.
Let's go, dude.
3 shots. Let's go.
Come on, dude. Come on, dudes.
Hey, you can utilize 1 shot as like a feeler outer. Okay, you get that doesn't count though. If it goes in, it does not count. No.
Do it for Huggy Bear.
Deuce. Hold the phone.
Hold on. This one does not count. This is for an NBA shooter to get a feel for the wind and the distance.
Sure.
No, this goes in, it counts 100%. But if it doesn't, it's just a feel-out one.
Okay.
For a tuition for a guy named Logan, who's been here since 6 a.m.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He likes it.
Yeah. This guy can shoot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man's name is Deuce McBride from WVU.
Oh. Come on. You got this.
Come on, Deuce.
Hey,
you got this.
Hey, Deuce, if you had to give a guesstimation, how far of a shot is this? About half court, you think? Yeah, about half court, a little bit beyond. There's a little bit of wind. Deuce McBride for some kids' tuition.
Looks good.
Oh!
That was awesome.
Hey,
hell yeah, Deuce.
Hell yeah.
Deuce.
Ladies and gentlemen, to Deuce McBride. Dude, that was awesome. Thank you for that. Holy shit.
Deuce, I think you get 1 year, $62.5 million for that.
Yeah, that's the NBA, baby. That's how it all goes. Hey, have an incredible weekend. Cheers to you, brother. All right? Thank you, man. Here's to you, Logan.
Deuce.
Oh, baby Deuce.
Oh, man. What a shot.
That was awesome.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean, that was too easy.
What a stud.
Deuce, what a moment.
Just changed your life right there.
Yeah.
Logan.
Earn it, son.
Hell yeah, Logan.
Hey, he believes.
Make it count, Logan.
He believes.
He certainly believes. He trusted the climb. How about Deuce McBride knocking that down for him? There's a couple guys that were here at like 3 a.m., and I said that Deuce was going to shoot for him later. Hey, bro, we'll just give you both like 10 grand, bud. Thanks for hanging.
Boom.
Deuce made it. Yeah, Deuce made it. Deuce made it for you. Congrats to those guys. 3 a.m. they were here.
Legend.
There was nobody here on campus at that time. These two come stumbling in. They've remained standing. We appreciate that. Logan, the tuition from this Deuce McBride shot. About a half quarter, the New York Knicks legend, West Virginia Mountaineer icon. About a half court shot, right to left. Cash.
Easy.
As the place goes banana for Logan. Congratulations, man. That's all.
Hell yeah.
And that's why Deuce will be great forever.
Exactly.
There's no questions asked. Deuce will be amazing forever. Our next guest that'll be joining us here in a matter of moments is one of the most pivotal pieces, I think, to West Virginia athletics in a long time. He's the athletic director, and he's really been able to summon the energy of Morgantown and understand what makes West Virginia great. I can't wait to chat with him. But before we get to that, let's talk about some NFL news that broke just yesterday. It was a story that we've been following for a long time. this wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. He was going to like 4 different teams. He wasn't happy. There was a vlog taking place. He was going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. He was going to be a Cleveland Brown. He was going to be a New England Patriot. He was going back to the Niners. He was going to hold out all season. He showed up at practice wearing a T-shirt. He was wearing shorts. He got kicked off the field seemingly from Lynch just 2 days ago. John Lynch said, at some point, you got to play football. Boom! They strike a deal. Ayuk is back with the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow. Yeah, amen.
Steeler fans.
Now, Adam Schefter reported that this deal has been the same exact deal that has been offered since August 4th. That was his entire, or August 10th. Originally August 4th, then he changed that tweet to August 10th, that this is basically the same exact offer that they've had on the table since then. Brandon Ayuk has just accepted it now at this point. Whatever the case, him going back to the Niners always felt like the expectation, Ty.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think most people, at least people like us who have to do this and kind of follow it on a day-to-day basis, and it's like a willy, won't he. Like, I'm just glad that it's over and done with.
What?
Okay? He's not going to a new team. He's going to be with the Niners. He's going to play week 1. We don't know how many snaps he'll play, but now they can, move their attention towards, hey, let's get Trent Williams done. Okay, we got the Ayuk situation done. We got one of Purdy's guys. The offense is kind of back together, but now you need to go out and get Trent Williams done because that's he's the locomotive. He's the engine that really gets them going.
Hey, Connor, do we think this is all fugazi?
Yeah, I mean, off-season
Was
conversation.
this all fugazi?
This is what we do in the off-season, okay? We talk about nothing. And that's why we say that when the off-season comes around, because this turned out to be a big old
journalistic standards, please.
Of course, yeah. And all
Journalistic
the reports of him leaving were definitely accurate, and he definitely wanted to leave this entire time, even though the Niners agreed to deals with other teams, and he was offered more money by other teams to go play for them as well. But this was just a master class of, hey, I don't want to go to work, but I still want to get paid in the end by Brandon Ayuk because he didn't have to do all the training camp bullshit. And guess what? In a week or 8 days from now when he plays football, he's probably going to have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns because that's what he does.
And we won't even remember all of this, which was a massive situation. Owen Schmidt, obviously, you like to eat metal for breakfast. You're not scared to go ahead and put your hands in the dirt. You used to run people over. This San Francisco 49ers team is a physical team, a tough team. Shanahan and Lynch have built them that way. Obviously, Ayuk's a massive piece because he can get open one-on-one, and that's another weapon for them. But you got to love the way the Niners play football. They're always going to be considered Super Bowl contenders. They're always going to go for it. But the way they structured this contract, it's a, hey, we're winning now, and we're not worried about 4 or 5 years from now. What are your thoughts on the team they built over there and how they play football?
Yeah, for the last couple of years they've been building that squad. They got to get Trent paid. He is an absolute monster on the front line. I mean, I love watching his clips, pulling, hitting those little cornerbacks, literally destroying holes, opening them up. The run game's solid. Obviously got one of the best in the game with McAfee back there, an absolute stud. John Lynch knows football, right? That's why we're seeing this take place. They're buying the team up, right? And it's close to being there. But, hey, Kansas City has been an absolute powerhouse.
Whoa,
Hey,
Chiefs win again. Go ahead, Will. Make your Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah, do it.
I'm not making a Super Bowl prediction. I'm saying, hey, look, San Fran hasn't been able to get it done. They have paid the money.
This is a Seahawks guy. He hates Niners.
Yeah, he is Seattle Seahawks.
That's right.
Hey, I'm just telling you right now. Look, the Niners have what it takes, but they choke in the big game.
Tone Diggs, Steelers fan. He was going to be a Steeler. Local journalists, I think, were reporting that he was going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Everybody thought that the Steelers were holding out for Ayuk to be their number 2 wide receiver. He is not a Steeler. How do you feel about that? And obviously, are these people booing Steelers fans? They're mad about this not taking place?
I tell you what, if you look at the internet last night, just cancel the Steelers season.
Pirate.
Turn the power back on.
Brought it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe that thing went down, but it is great that it is. but the Steelers were thinking that he was going to be a Steeler, I think. A lot of fans thought he was going to be a Steeler. He is not. Is everything okay in Pittsburgh? Just like the power here in beautiful Morgantown, West Virginia.
No, after, Omar Khan, all the Steelers fans were like, Omar Khan's the best of all time, blah, 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 after the draft. Last night there was people on the internet calling for his job because they didn't get Ayuk, because he can absolutely force Ayuk to come to the Steelers. That's how that works. And now the Steelers fans are basically saying it's a wash season. When Artie Smith was the
it's over for the Steelers?
Oh, no. Oh,
no.
Good run, Tone.
I'm here to tell you different. It's not. Okay, it's not. I'm here to tell you different. When Artie Smith was the OC for the Titans, they had A.J. Brown as a rookie. He had 1,000 yards and basically no one else at wide receiver. We got GP at wide receiver. We are going to be just fine. We're going to pound the rock with Artie Smith. We're going to play defense. We're going to play Steeler football. We'll see you in the playoffs, okay?
Okay, well, we shall see if that takes place. If it doesn't, Yinzers are going to be
they're not going to be
very loud about everything that took place here without getting. What was that?
Sorry, what?
Somebody said
Connor said something.
I said they're going to be pissed. I mean, it's very cool. They haven't had a losing season in Tomlin's entire tenure. And look, if they don't win, they're not going to be happy. They're going to burn the city down.
Okay, all right. I don't know if that's the case. Obviously, Pittsburgh wouldn't want to do that to themselves. But Steelers fans were very excited about Ayuk. And he remains with the 49ers with $30 million per year in a front-loaded deal that they did salary cap gymnastics, which they will continue to do with their big stars. And we saw the Rams do this, right? They ended up winning a Super Bowl. We've seen other teams do this and have success. The Niners need to win one. They know that. Ayuk's a massive piece of it. Congrats to both of them getting a deal done.
Hell yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of deals getting done, a man who represents West Virginia at the negotiation table, a man that represents West Virginia whenever it comes to funding, a man who is responsible for this entire thing happening right here at Life Science Building. Athletic Director for West Virginia, Ren Baker. Hell yeah, Ren. Hell yeah, Ren.
Hell yeah, Ren.
Sweet Jays. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Is that a Duke's Mayo Bowl?
Dude, you look good. Look at how good this is.
Yo, he's looking good, dude.
Wow. Yeah, hell yeah, he looks good. Sir,
Dude.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you. Come on. No worries. Don't you worry about it. Your team did all the work. Ladies and gentlemen, Ren Baker.
How awesome is this?
Dude, I'll tell you, you should have been here like 2 hours ago, right? It's about 1,000 degrees outside. The people have shown up for us. There are a couple people that have been here since like 3 a.m., 6 a.m., and all through the morning. It's hot as shit. The humidity's through the roof. West Virginia Mountaineers are excited about the weekend. Ren, you got to be pumped about how the sports world looks in Morgantown right now.
This is such an incredible moment, and I've been here about 18 months, and when they first started talking to me about the job, I didn't know that much about West Virginia. I knew about these guys because when these guys were doing their thing, I was watching, and it's an honor and privilege to have you guys back. But I will tell you, yes, give them a round of applause.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, boys.
Come on now.
But you heard Coach Brown say this earlier. These guys can tell you if you're a student anywhere in the country looking for a university to attend, this is the place to come because this program means more to the people of West Virginia than any other place in the country.
You felt that right immediately upon getting here. And Neil Brown talked about the man trip for coal miners, and he took the team around the state, I think, to introduce this team to what West Virginia is. 18 months, you've tried to do the same thing. It's a special place. You can feel that as soon as you get here. We felt it immediately upon landing this morning, and every time we get back. You can feel that as an outsider, right? Not that you're an outsider, but you can.
No, it was incredible. And they tried to explain it to me in the interview process, like, hey, I got this. I've worked at other universities. I'm switching logos, but same job. It's not the same here. This program and this university is so intertwined with this state more than anybody else could ever understand. And this is a great place. And if whether you want to live here, work here, vacation here, come to West Virginia.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Now, I do want to say something, having you guys on the stage. These three guys here are legends. The Runaway Beer Truck, incredible. Give him a round of applause. I know you guys got to today. All-time leading scorer right here.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Boom!
And not just a media star, but Pat White truly is a generational player, one of the all-time greats, and I got a chance to meet him. But Pat, thank you for being back. We love you so much, and I have something special for you guys.
Okay.
Matt Wells, come up. So Wellesy's done a lot
during this week to
Wells,
get people
Wells,
I didn't even know he went by Wellesley until Pat McAfee started calling him Wellesley. So
To be clear, I thought Wellesley, through the emails, was like a 25, 26-year-old guy. So I'm emailing back and forth with this guy, Matt Wells, Associate Athletic Director of West Virginia. I'm like, all right, Matt Wells is going to do great. And I start responding as he starts hitting things out of the park. We got location secured. We got power secured. We got internet secured. We got people secured. I'm like, Wellesley's fucking killing it.
Dog.
All of a sudden, I meet Wells. He's been here for 20-some years. This guy loves West Virginia more than anybody else on earth. It's like, Wells, we appreciate the hell out of it.
Baby Wellesley.
So these three guys on stage know this, but when you talk about Wellesley,
Hell yeah. Wellesley deserves it.
Wellesley's getting hammered tonight.
So when you talk about the history here with West Virginia, this is a place that's so resilient, been knocked down, gets back up. There's a bond with people. So earlier this year, we announced that we're going to have not a blackout uniform, a coal rush uniform, and people went nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And so everybody in the country, the thing went viral. It's one of the most viral uniform releases of all time.
Yeah.
But it means something more to the people here because it's about the spirit that our players take that field in. So everybody in the country's wanted the helmets. We have not given those out. Only somebody special should be the first to get those helmets, and we have each of you three guys a helmet right here.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
That's an honor.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
And these are not the knockoffs. Now, you guys all know how hard it is to get right here.
Wellesley.
Playing at Duquesne.
The other thing that these three guys know is how hard we had to fight Dan Nealon to get those from the equipment room. Dan doesn't come off equipment very easy. So,
Does it fit? Hey, is it good?
That looks good.
It's a little tight. I got a big brain, obviously, but it is an honor to put one of these on because obviously the coal miners are synonymous with this state. Being blue collar is synonymous with this state. And also, I think having a beer or two is synonymous with this state. Ren, for the people that have remained standing here, can you give a toast as we go into one of the biggest weekends in Morgantown's history?
to an unbelievable weekend, to a great crowd, to three incredible legends, and to all of you. Show up with the same energy tomorrow. God bless West Virginia. Let's go Mountaineers.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Gonna be tough with the. Gonna be tough with the helmet on.
Face it.
Ladies and gentlemen, athletic director for West Virginia, a man who's doing the Lord's work here in Morgantown, Ren Baker.
Thank you, Ren.
Here's the Ren.
The Ren.
And we do it again, it seems like.
Hey, just one thing left. We do have all of you guys a gear package.
Thank you.
Yep. And so you can go represent from now on.
God, I love you,
and
Ren.
and I love everything about the show, but I particularly love the Pete Thamel impersonation. So could we get a Pete Thamel on my way out here?
Yeah, I suppose we could get an impression, Ren. Listen, I did want to ask you, as we're going off the air here, see you later, ESPN. Have a great weekend. I would like to know what's it like being, the biggest fish in a small pond coming from North Texas, obviously, where you're a small fish in a very big pond with, several of the premier institutions in the United States. How have you taken to, kind of being the big swinging dick in this state?
Well, I don't know that I would call it that, but it definitely is different.
That's what I said. You don't have to say that.
Your words.
So it is different. So I loved my time at UNT, 45,000 students, but there's so much in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, so you're constantly fighting for attention. I actually told the officer that drove me here, we were constantly talking about how can we get the students on campus to know when we have a game. Everybody in this state knows when the Mountaineers play. They're dialed in. They're watching it in rural West Virginia, hours and hours away. They don't miss it, and that's a great honor and a great privilege. So I love it. My family's loved it here, and I love how much this university and this athletic program and these guys mean to the state.
Hey, and that's a great answer, and we're very happy that you're representing West Virginia as our athletic director. And Wellesley, you know this. Owen feels the same way. I think all these people do. That number 5 after this season.
Hang it up.
Needs to never be worn.
Yep.
Again. You know that. You've shown massive respect to
Yeah.
Pat White throughout this entire thing, and we appreciate the hell out of you, man.
I love Pat, and definitely that's something that needs to be considered. So it will for sure. We love you, man.
All right, sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Ren Baker. Hey, the helmet's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Pat. Owen was wondering if you could get a Guardian cap for his.
Yeah, Owen loved the Guardian cap.
He was like, oh, this helmet's not.
Why? Thank you, Ren. Good work.
Yeah, Ren.
Thank you, Ren.
Yeah, Owen said, I'm not putting this thing on without a Guardian cap.
Wow, Guardian caps are for pussies, man. P word's not good.
No, you can't.
My bad. Sorry about that.
We're trying to make it a safer game.
Oh, well, hey, here's what I got to say.
Yes.
The game's played with tough men, all right?
Yes.
Tough men play the game. We don't want none of that.
Not safe, man.
That couldn't have gone
I mean-
any better.
Hey, earlier today, we were up in that window up there. I think I don't know which one it was. A couple of people saw us. We were in a room, and the dean of the communications biology. One of the deans here of one of the schools,
somewhere up there,
who's a good guy, great guy, gave us like his office and everything up there. As soon as Owen walked in after a night in Morgantown, obviously he had some vibes. He was searching for some zins.
Yeah, his hands are filthy.
And then it's filthy.
I don't know how they.
Hey,
how do you
they were
manage-
filthy because I had to change my wheel bearings in my beater.
Okay, yeah.
He brings Pat White on a private jet. You know what I mean? He makes me drive the 2006 Kia.
Well, that's a vastly superior machine.
Yeah,
It is.
Kia
It is.
operates well, but as soon as he walked in and sat down, literally our entire group goes, "Oh, and we heard you love the Guardian cap.
Yeah.
You love it. You're the one that created it." And no one goes, "I see what you guys are doing here, and I don't like what you're." And then as soon as we get it on air, just hook, line, and sinker.
Gotcha.
Nah, that ain't football. That ain't how it goes. Owen, what you did as a football player is the reason why these people loved you. You ran people over. Pat, what you did as a football player, ran around people and led in a fashion that has never been seen before here on campus, is the reason why they loved you. Now, before we wrap up this program with friend of program, electrifying everybody that's left, we got to make our picks for the game, okay? And this is a big deal. We're going to do 2 games. We'll go around the horn. I will not be making selections because I will be doing that tomorrow at around 11:55.
Yep.
Let's start with, no, not this particular game. Let's start with Texas A&M hosting Notre Dame. That is where College Game Day is, down at College Station. It is a 4-hour trip from Morgantown, if you were wondering, a 4-hour trip. We'll start with you, Pat White. Do you have Texas A&M or Notre Dame winning that game?
Well, Notre Dame just snagged a quarterback from right around the way in Fairhope, Alabama. Guy by the name of Riley Leonard. So I'm going with the Fighting Irish.
Okay, that's Notre Dame. Owen Schmidt, Notre Dame or Texas A&M?
Yeah, I got a good boy at UPS in Beckley. Sloan, I'm sorry, dog. I ain't picking Notre Dame. I'm going with Texas A&M.
Okay, like Texas A&M. Tone Diggs, Texas A&M or Notre Dame?
Last year, Elko upset Clemson in week 1 with Duke. He's got more dogs down in A&M. I will go with A&M and Elko.
Okay, 1 Irish, 2 Texas A&M. Ty Schmidt, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to need to see a little bit more of Riley Leonard before I'm really bullish on the Irish, so I'm going to go Texas A&M as well.
Okay, wow, this seems like a one-sided affair except for Pat White pulling for Riley Leonard. Con man, Irish or Texas A&M?
I mean, come on. We just came back from Dublin. I'm rolling with the Irish and Riley Leonard. I believe in Marcus Freeman, baby. I'm taking ND.
Okay, is that because you're fodder? And
My father's father, and also Marcus Freeman. I mean, we've talked to him before. A guy knows how to coach.
Yesterday was Thursday.
Of course, Thursday was quite a day, and this Friday has turned into quite a runaway as well, you could say.
Yeah, we love Dublin. We love the Irish. Let's get to the game now. That'll be hosted here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Tone Diggs, one half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys, do you have Penn State or West Virginia walking out of Morgantown with a dub?
I live by a slogan, Pat. If you can feel it, you can chase it. And I feel it here, okay? I feel it deep down in my plums, okay? So I'm going to roll with, obviously, Morgantown and West Virginia to knock off those pieces of shit up in Penn State, okay?
Jeez.
Howdy!
All right, Tone Diggs has Penn State.
Yep.
Let's go.
No. Mountaineers.
Mountaineers, I'm sorry. He's going against Penn State. Let's go to the runaway beer truck. Owen Schmidt, do you have West Virginia or Penn State winning tomorrow here in Morgantown?
We got WVU, baby.
Hell yeah.
How cool would that have been if he goes Penn State?
Oh, it would have been nuts.
The greatest Mountaineer of all time. I don't love we'll take it into consideration. He understood. He understood what was happening there. A man whose number is going to be retired in due time, it does feel like. Pat White, West Virginia or Penn State tomorrow, kicking off at noon.
Well, I do have a good buddy of mine who's also a fellow Mountaineer quarterback at Penn State coaching, Jaywan Sider, but you know I'm staying here at home with the Mountaineers, baby. Let's go.
Okay, so that's 3 people for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Let's head over to the toxic table at Boston Connor. Do you have West Virginia or Penn State?
I mean, look, you can hear the people. I can't go against Morgantown now. I mean, it's the greatest place on earth. I'm taking West Virginia. Come on.
We're in the middle of the hills here in West Virginia. It's impossible to fall in love with the place. If you don't come here, you should. Whenever you look around, you see people that like to have a good time. You see people that are passionate about their team, passionate about their state, passionate about their school. It is a true football town. The world's going to see it for the next 24 hours plus. Ty Schmidt, do you have Penn State or West Virginia winning tomorrow?
I mean, who are we kidding? You know, you saw how many people came out in Morgantown today. It's the biggest game since 1998? I love the hospitality. I love the Mountaineers. I love Morgantown. So it breaks my heart that I got to go with Penn State.
Whoa! We are Penn State!
Shower boy over here.
Whoa!
Hey!
Whoa! Whoa!
Was that too much?
Listen, I don't like it. Got to go with my heart. Big Ten brethren, got to do it.
Yeah, don't drop the soap around that guy.
I definitely won't. Sorry, guys.
We're talking about you, Ty Schmidt.
I know they are.
I'll have you know that Ty Schmidt had the brain capacity to be accepted to the University of Harvard. He chose to go to Iowa. He's much smarter than he is depicting right now. You only picked Penn State because they're a Big Ten school?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, hey, listen, if I'm being honest here.
What?
It's righteousness from the Big Ten.
I want Penn State to get their asses kicked tomorrow. I really do. But also, you know, I mean, what are we going to, pat each other on the back and have a grand old time? Everyone's picking West Virginia. Someone's got to be a realist here. Someone's got to pick Penn State. With that being said, fucking give them hell out there. Give them hell.
All right, and making a pick here via FaceTime, friend of the program, Penn State legend A.Q. Shipley joining
us. AQ, baby.
AQ, you are on an LED board facing all of these people. We're making our picks. Do you want to make a decision? That would be a... Penn State! Fuck 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 Penn State! AQ, do you have West Virginia or Penn State winning tomorrow's battle, kicking off at noon in the lovely state of West Virginia?
First, let me say this. It looks absolutely electric there.
Okay, thank you.
Great scene, atmosphere, sportsmanship going on there. Love the crowd noise. Love what they're saying. Love everything about that university. It's an hour and a half from where I grew up. Having said that, Penn State by 25 tomorrow.
Loser.
You don't believe that. You don't believe by 25. There's no way you have a football brain and think Penn State beats this West Virginia team by 25 in Morgantown. Do you really?
I saw my boy Owen Schmidt out there singing the praises. Former teammate of mine, loving West Virginia. Love Owen. Hey, they're just not ready for the big time yet. It's okay.
Boo.
It's okay.
Ready for the big time.
The hell?
The hell does that? You guys think you're too strong, too big, too athletic for West Virginia, AQ? Is that what it is?
I mean, it's a top 10 program. What do you want me to say? We're coming on the road. They're just going to show them how it's done. It's okay.
Hey, is there anything you have to say to AQ Shipley as we...
Electric.
All right, AQ.
Electric.
Yeah, it is.
It's electric.
It's awesome. Bars have been open since 8 a.m. It is 150 degrees seemingly out here. Humidity's through the roof. The beer started flowing a little bit too quickly for my liking after what happened last Friday.
Sure.
But nonetheless, one last message for these beautiful people of West Virginia as a Penn State legend, 23 hours or whatever removed from the big game tomorrow.
Just keep that same energy when you're down 20 at the half. It's okay. Keep that same energy.
This guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley!
Atta baby Q's.
Love you, AQ.
Good heel.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
If you only knew him.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, buddy.
Yeah, that is actuality in this entire thing.
He's a real piece of shit.
He is. He is a sack of subs, isn't he?
Yeah, a true sack
real
of subs.
sack of subs.
Oh, and when I say this, they're worried about West Virginia being their week 1 game. Just like we talked about this earlier in the day, Colorado having North Dakota State on Thursday night prime time. Like, that's a tough first game. Penn State, top 10 team, having an opportunity with the 12-team playoff. If they do slip up against Ohio State or Michigan like they have in the past, they still have an opportunity with the preseason ranking to kind of make it into the playoff and do something that they've been trying to do under James Franklin since he got hired there. But they don't like that they have to come into Morgantown week 1 at all, and I think everybody understands that, Owen.
Yeah, and obviously Penn State, you're playing if you're playing there, it's a hostile environment. They're going to get that here. And if we can stay within halftime, if the game is close, the Maniacs, they have to be the deciding factor. You guys need to bring the pride, need to bring the passion. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. Right? Feel it in your plums, baby. Feel it in your plums.
You got to feel it in your plums. And as we wrap up this beautiful day, Pat, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for this university. Your jersey should have been retired a long time ago. And I think Ren Baker, I think Neil Brown, I think the people in charge right now are at a point where they understand and appreciate everything that you did for this city.
Did.
I know you always say it. Shut up. Mute his microphone. What you did for this entire city program and everything around here will never be forgotten. And thank you for making the trip up on this beautiful Friday.
Hey, Pat.
And with that being said, I would like to make an announcement before we wrap up here. I will be donating $1 million to the West Virginia NIL Collective. And it will not be from my name. It'll be for the entire team that I played alongside. It was all of us. I was very lucky to be on a team with you, Pat White. I was very lucky to be on a team with you, Owen Schmidt, Reed Williams, Darius Raynaud. You go through the list of absolute dogs from front to back that we had on those teams that changed this entire place. From our West Virginia team to this new West Virginia team, we want to say thank you for the hospitality. $1 million. I hope you spend it in the right way. And let's enjoy the shit out of a weekend in Morgantown, West Virginia. Now, to close this incredible show out, the highest drafted West Virginia Mountaineer of all time, one of the most electrifying humans to ever exist, Adam Pac-Man Jones! Hey, here you go, here you go, here you go. Smell me! Smell me! Smell me! Hey, Pac, right here, bub. Right here.
I want some of that.
Pac-Man, that's backwards, that's backwards, that's backwards. You gotta turn it around.
What do you mean,
I can smell Pac-Man whenever he comes into town. It's that good. And
no cap.
Hey, when you ran through this town on offense, defense, and special teams, and then did the same exact thing in the NFL, I know people from all around West Virginia said, hell yeah, thank you for coming from Atlanta all the way to Morgantown to play your college ball.
Yeah.
You're back on campus. You're working with the WVU football team.
Yeah.
How do you feel about where we are, where West Virginia is, and how do you feel about what you've done here at West Virginia?
I feel really good. They said we wouldn't win, 6.5 games last year. We was 9-4. We're gonna be way better this year. I think these guys, we're getting to where we need to be. I think the head coach is doing a great job of getting the guys together on the same path, and we got a quarterback that can finally play football. So we're in a good position right now.
I think so too. What do you think Penn State doesn't understand about coming into Morgantown that might feel tomorrow?
Country road, take me home to a place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Hey, look, it's almost heaven here. It's almost heaven here.
Last thing before we go, if you were to send a message to the state of West Virginia, these people, and the team, what would you say about the opportunity that is sitting about 20-some hours away from now?
I say let's enjoy the process, and we play to win the game. Fuck being an underdog. We play to win the game. Fuck the points. We play to win the game. Tomorrow, we gonna win the game. You smell me?
And on the way out of here, I can't help but say,
Let's go, Mountaineers! Let's go, Mountaineers! Let's go, Mountaineers! Let's go, Mountaineers!
on the way out of here, I can't help but say thank you to all of the people that helped make this possible.
Yes.
To the Morgantown Police Department.
Yes.
Including old teammate of mine and old teammate of yours.
Yeah.
Brad Palmer's
Big Brad.
country's ass for protecting us all day. And for some of the Morgantown Police Department that were working back whenever me and Pac-Man were roaming this campus.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
We really,
you.
really appreciate
We
the
had
hell
a
out
lot
of
of
you.
nights
Yes,
that
we
y'all
did.
took care of us.
Early mornings.
Early mornings.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of bathrooms open after midnight.
Whoops.
So I do apologize
Couple
for those
clubs
alleys.
we kept open.
That's on us.
We thank y'all.
Couple maybe physical altercations.
Yeah,
that
a
took
couple
place.
fights.
We apologize.
We
We
sorry.
appreciative.
We sorry.
We are apologize.
But we're so thankful for the whole state of West Virginia. Most importantly, Morgantown. Like we're like without y'all, there's no us, bro. Like
Yeah,
for
amen.
real. Like amen to that. Like, and I really mean that from the bottom of our heart. Like thank y'all. Like we love here.
Yeah, we're very
We
lucky.
rep this city.
Very lucky that we went to school in West Virginia. So from the police department to the athletic department to the on-campus crew that set all this shit up.
To the fire department that we burned up all them couches on Frat Row. Shout out to Sigma Phi. They took care of us when we was here, but we burned a lot of couches. Bro.
Yeah, and hopefully there's enough water on campus tomorrow night after we beat Penn State for all the couches they're going to burn.
Right.
To all the people that have hung out with us for multiple hours in 100+ degree weather and 100% humidity pretty much, we appreciate the hell out of you.
Legends.
Yes.
Absolute fucking legends.
To Zito, Tim, and the boys that had to battle against everything. Way to set this whole thing up.
Hell yeah,
boys. We appreciate you. And to Neil Brown, Garrett Green, Ren Baker.
What?
Go fucking do it, man.
Let's go.
Yep.
The time is now. This place is ready. Tomorrow is going to be a buzzsaw. Thank you all so much for being so hospitable to us, our show, for showing up. I am lucky to be a Mountaineer. To Owen Schmidt, thank you so much. To Pat White, thank you so much.
Pat White. Big on.
And for the entire world, one last time.
Country roads,
take me home.
We'll see you on game day tomorrow. Goodbye.
To the place
I belong.
West Virginia,
Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road. Great show, Pat.